Breakfast with me, Alan Hubbard. Sign language interpreter this morning is Gideon Minor, and you made it in time for Political Monday. I am with my fellow pundit, Kasanga Johnson, and today, should I continue? Okay. Continue. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Science TV Kenya, and you will find us at the Alan Hubbard, hashtag Science Breakfast, hashtag the Alan Hubbard, and you can also find us on at Science TV Kenya across all platforms. This is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and our newest platform, TikTok. You will find us there at dancing rumba songs and other forms of entertaining content that we do here at Science TV. But we are not here to talk about TikTok or any other type of content that we do here. We are here to dissect what we believe is going to be taking center stage in the world of politics. Of course, bringing in the happenings of the weekend in the political sphere in the country. Before all of that, let me give an opportunity to Kasanga to greet you and tell us how he has been and what he's speaking from the political trenches of our good country, Kenya.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been well. What I'm picking, different forests, same monkeys.
Different forests and monkeys.
Yes.
Qualify the statement.
There's nothing new in politics. History has always been there to guide us.
Yes.
What we need to do is to look for the things that tell us this is what happened last time, and this is what we expect to happen this time. The same characters that we see right now are the same characters that we saw 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, even 25 years ago. Yeah, so it's just the same monkeys, different forests. Yeah.
All right, same monkey, different forests, and this is where we're going to start this conversation from. My producer, if you may, kindly play the clip where the president was in Mombasa over the weekend at an interdenominational service. Watch.
Juzi niliongea na kiongozi wa upinzani na viongozi wa upinzani na nikawaambia ya kwamba sisi ni nchi ya demokrasia. Sisi ni nchi ambayo inasimamia katiba na sheria. Tunaweza kushindana kwa mambo yote. Mambo yale mengine yote tunaweza kuzungumza. But we are not going to negotiate about the safety of Kenya. Wanauliza wapi mambo ya gharama ya maisha. Mimi nataka niwaeleze mambo ya gharama ya maisha iko kwa manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. Pale ndio tuko na mpango mzima na maalum na tayari tunaitekeleza. Na gharama ya maisha haiwezi kutatuliwa vile wao wanapendekeza. Atifujo, maandamano, sufuria kwa kichwa, bei ya unga itabadilika namna gani, hata kwa dawa ama uganga ama uchawi.
Leo tuatafuta uongozi kwa kutumia maandamano. Yatawezekana? Uvumilivu wako ndio utakao kupeleka kule. Leo tuambiwa kwamba tuzungumze mambo ya majadiliano. Ni sawa, lakini we don't want to form a precedent ambayo itakuwa yatumika. Kuna sababu gani za sisi kwenda katika uchaguzi kama itakuwa ni kila siku tukae tuzungumze?
Kuna mazungumzo yoyote yataendelea kuzungumzwa. Rais, tunakuomba sasa yawe waziwazi.
Ingekuwa mazungumzo kati ya Mheshimiwa Ruto na Mheshimiwa Raila inaweza kupunguza bei ya unga, tungemshurutisha rais akae na Mheshimiwa Raila. Lakini tunajua wazi hata hivi leo Mheshimiwa Ruto na Mheshimiwa Raila waende State House wakazungumze. Ukitoka hapo nenda duka lolote utakuta bei ni ile ile.
Siasa ya 2017 ambayo ilileta serikali ya handshake ilikuwa tofauti na siasa ya mwaka jana. Uchaguzi wa mwaka jana fair and square, demokrasia na sheria. Rais ni Daktari William Samoei Ruto.
Kwa hivyo wenzetu ikiwa wanataka wazungumze, please
be honest to the people of Kenya, because there is no crisis. We may talk, we are allowed to talk, the president has every right to talk, but do not cheat Kenyans that we are in an international crisis. Tuzungumza mambo ya uchumi, tuzungumza mambo ya kitaifa. Tafadhali ndugu zetu, let us talk as Kenyans, but do not try and internationalize your losses in here. You lost, do not internationalize it.
Kura iliamua. Sasa, you pay attention to the interests and needs of Kenyans. Winston Churchill said, you will never finish your race if you stop to throw stones at every barking dog.
This particular meeting in Ukunda, the president acknowledged that they had a meeting with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Let us start where you think the stalemate was broken. Because if we look back a couple of months ago, all the demonstrations and every other leader from each divide, they had these headlines that there is no way that the two leaders would meet. What do you think went behind the doors to make sure that the first meeting was held between the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and our President William Ruto, and of course in the presence of the former Nigerian leader Obasanjo?
As I told you before, same monkeys, different forests. And they were bound to sit down and talk anyway, regardless. It was just a matter of time.
They were only procrastinating it.
Yeah, they were only procrastinating it. Because for the president to rule this country so that he can make the big four, the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto a reality, something that is paramount for it to be there is peace, so that we can get stability.
Yeah.
But with Raila Amolo Odinga on the other side, calling for anti-government demonstrations,
yes,
that was never going to be realized. Businessmen cried in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Kisumu that they are no longer making money. And you remember the other day we had demonstrations for 2 days, one day after another. The third day there was nothing much. But what that tells you, there are 5 productive days in a week. Remove 2 of those days.
Yes.
You're remaining with 3 days. Now you need 2 days to recover your losses and 1 day to make profits. So what does that tell you? Nothing is happening. You cannot get taxes. So it was just a matter of time that these people had to sit down and talk. That was given.
But why do we need a foreigner though? Don't we fully trust the constitution that came into effect in 2010? Why do we always need a foreigner?
These are the same people that were there during the process of making the constitution. Raila Amolo Odinga was alive and well. William Samoei Ruto was alive and well. James Aggrey Orengo was alive and well. All these people,
yes,
they were there at that time, and they know what it means not to have a mediator. They know that politicians don't have trust.
Yeah.
They only have things that align to what they want. And then if that is not aligning, then there's the trust deficit, and you need someone else to come and mediate. Yeah.
But what I'm failing to get, yes, there is somebody who needs to come and mediate, but then they have to exit for you to implement the plan.
Yeah.
So either way, they're not going to be here throughout. So I can still play my gimmicks after the mediator has left.
It's like a marriage. The bishop,
quite an analogy to use.
The bishop is only there.
Yes. To bring the two together.
No, to make you say your vows.
Yes.
To sign the certificate. Actually, once that accord has been signed,
yes,
it's legally binding. And in any instance where the law clashes with the accord, it is the accord that takes the upper hand.
Yes.
So once the accord has been signed,
yeah,
that's simple.
Yesterday, the Azimio flank went ahead and also released a statement of their own, and they said that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga has met with the President William Ruto, but there is still a divergency on the issues that they need to talk about. And as you also might have heard in the clip that just played a couple of minutes ago, the President said, we are not going to talk about the cost of living and the cost of living, we have already mechanisms in place in our manifesto that we are going to use to bring down the cost of living. And I think it was also the Speaker of the Senate, Jefferson Kingi, who said that even if these leaders were met, immediately after they meet, go to the supermarket, the prices of commodities will still be the same. So there is no big deal on these two proponent meeting, and they continue and say that it is only just about their political convenience, as you're putting it. But when we extrapolate further and look at the issues that need to be discussed, what do you think, from your own point of view, what do you think truly needs to be discussed on? Because there is the cost of living, as Azimio says, there is the auditing of the 2022 election servers. The Kenya Kwanza side is saying we are not going to do that, but we are willing to talk about the fully the way we are going to be constituting, or rather the IEBC and other issues that we are going to be talking about. And there is something that everybody is throwing under the lines of saying how they could, the two parties could share the cabinet, the prime cabinet secretary office and all of this. From your point of view, putting all this into perspective, what do you believe should be the conversation, even as the two proponents have finally agreed to meet and talk?
I'll go back in time. After the 2007 general elections,
yes,
this country went into a dark period. After the 1997 elections,
yes,
it was the same thing. After the 1992 elections, more so the same thing.
Yes.
Coming back just some years ago, 2013, same script. 2017,
same script.
2022, same script. I think, for the avoidance of doubt in the coming elections,
yes,
we need to sit down and see what is this monster that always pops out its head after only 5 years.
Yes.
Like saizi huyo mnyama anaenda tu kutulia. 2027 ndiye atasimama tena.
Yeah.
What is not happening? What are we not doing well?
Yeah.
It is not a coincidence that all that time there has been demonstrations after elections, and the runners-up has always taken the number one to court,
yes,
without fail. It's only in 2002 when you did not have that. But all these years, basically almost since independence,
yes,
it's been the same script. That is what we need to do. If we can audit the servers, and you know, when you audit the servers, it will remove any doubt,
yes,
that Kenya Kwanza won. If they did, if indeed they won.
Yes.
If they didn't win, we are going to have another discussion. So from where I sit, investors always pull out months leading to the election.
Yes.
Tourists never dare come to this country months leading to the election, and even months after the election. As we see right now, we are still talking about elections. It's almost 1 year
after the elections,
after the president was sworn in. Almost 1 year.
Yes.
But you're still talking about the election. What that tells you, in the 5 years of Ruto as president in his first term,
yes,
already 1 year we've spent talking about matters election. And those are still the same matters that we are trying to address as we speak right now. If we can finish this thing once and for all, because I'm telling you, we are not that many people in Kenya. We're only talking about if everyone was to vote, around 15-18 million votes, my friend. Hiyo sio kura mingi.
Yes.
Go to the United States. The numbers are astronomical.
Yes.
Go to Russia.
Well, Russia and elections probably not a proper example.
Okay. But I'm only talking about the numbers.
Yes.
I will quote PLO Lumumba. In Africa, we can't count.
Yes.
We cannot count. Maybe one is not equal to one. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because if it's a game of numbers, we have professors.
Yes.
We have institutions of mathematics in this country.
Yes.
But 60 years down the line after independence, we still cannot count. That is a tragedy that we are in.
Yeah. So you believe in your submission that IEBC constitution, the way that it will be constructed, should be at least one of the priority areas where the proponents converge, and also probably the auditing of the servers, which
Actually, I have no idea with the constitution of IEBC, to be honest. Even if you bring in angels,
yes,
but the election process
yes,
is not credible.
yes,
We still go back to the streets
Yeah.
after the election. We still go back to the courts after elections. So once we sort out this issue about elections,
yes,
because it will be very good if I win, I win on my own merit.
yeah,
And I say I promise this thing to the people, and this is what I'm going to deliver to
Yeah.
the people. But as you can see, Kenyan politics, it's a game of money. It's a game of numbers.
yeah,
Like it's just a script that you have to follow.
that you have to follow.
Yeah.
Then what begs the question is, then what do we ought to do?
As I-
Because when you look, for instance, when you look at the 2022 general election, and I am not I am not for the demonstrations or and such, but when you look at from a logical point of view, when you look at the elections 2022 that were conducted in 2022, 200,000 were the votes that separated the winner from the loser. 200,000. What happens to the 7 million people who voted for this other flank? What happens to the 8 million who voted for the winner? And what happens to the humongous number of 8-9 million people who did not even show up at the voting, but they were registered as voters? From a country's point of view, how do we do these balances and checks and make sure that yes, the winner, because they are the winner, they get to control government, because their people decided to give them the power based off of how they submitted their manifestos and everything. But also there is this other flank of people who did not support them, but they are also stakeholders in this. There is no way that you could keep them silent entirely. So how do we match the numbers? There is a gentleman on TikTok who says that probably we need to have a sort of voluntary presidency, sort of rotational. You say, who is now the most eloquent in probably the Mount Kenya region and the most suitable? You say they come in, they do their 2 years, they go home. You rate them. Next time you go to the Masai community. Next time you go to the Mijikenda community. So that if it's rotational, then we get to see what is everybody being able to deliver and take the country forward. Probably far-fetched idea, but what do we need to do?
I'll start from the front. Sorry, from the beginning. We are bound by the Constitution to obey the law.
Yes.
And the law stipulates that this is a democratic state, and during an election, the winner becomes president.
Yes.
Regardless of the margin, as long as there's a 50% of all the votes cast are in his favor, plus one vote. Leave alone the 200,000, just one vote. That is what the Constitution acknowledges.
Yes.
So if it is 50-50 and then you have the one vote, you become president, regardless of how many votes that I have.
Yeah.
If as a country we feel this does not work for us, we can change the Constitution.
And
But we
as a
don't break
country,
the law.
and as a absolutely, and that's where I want us to delve into. As a country, we can change the Constitution
We can.
to make sure that, because you have given history of over 20 years, and we have been finding ourselves in the same place over and over again. As a country, are we really? Democracy is a good thing, and democracy is a good philosophy. But are we going to stay to the books that are not really working for our country? And how many people are we going to have to lose after every other election cycle just because we have to remain a democratic state? Can't we reinvent the wheel of democracy so that we save the people? Over 50 people lost their lives in the previous demonstrations.
I acknowledge that.
And the deputy president said that the media has talked about those who lost their lives, but also let us acknowledge that there were police officers who were hit with stones.
Yeah.
They are also lying in hospitals. Do we have, and there are so many resources. Imagine the amount of resources that were used on the demonstrations. What could they have done? They would have built a school. They would have made sure that July salaries for public servants will not come in early. Yeah, but but that money was spent on demonstrations and chasing demonstrators. Yeah.
You see, as a country, we were not forced to accept this constitution.
Absolutely.
I remember in 2010.
Yeah.
I was for a new constitution. Why? Because the one that we had, we found it there, and we didn't understand it very well. So my view was like, okay, let's get a new one. At least it's ours. We've made it.
Yes.
And a majority of us understand it well. But years down the line, you know when you build a new house,
Yes.
it's beautiful, it's lavish.
Absolutely.
But 5 years down the line, that's when you start to see, buildings settle. You start to see cracks somewhere else. As a country, we have reached to that point.
Yeah.
But the question begs, the Constitution offers provisions where we can change certain aspects of the law that we find are not working for our favor. The biggest problem has been the Raila Amolo Odinga. People will not go back. What do you do to such an individual? Ukimwacha pale nje anashikwa na mafikra, anaanza kusema okay, tufanye 1 2 3, and that is the problem. We need to find a position for these people who have come at number 2, because they have the heart for the country. That is where we are right now. Hatuwapatii nafasi, wako hapo nje wanasumbua hiyo pande nyingine inachokoza. You see what Uhuru did was very wise. Because there were no more demonstrations. All that period after the handshake, not even a single demonstration. People worked. Bea mafuta ilipanda, tulikuwa sawa. Tulisukuma maisha.
Unge ilipanda,
tulikuwa sawa maisha.
Yes.
Not because what we're experiencing now is any different from what we experienced then.
Yes.
It's just that right now there's someone telling us, by the way, the price of flour is too high. By the way, the price of sugar is too high. By the way, the price of petroleum is too high. It is the same thing that happened then. By the way, the only time we hit a record low on fuel prices was during the COVID-19 pandemic period.
Because consumption was low. Yeah, supply was high, demand was low.
Exactly.
If you know your commerce or your economics, you know what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But right now, the only way to quench this thing is that we go back, reinvent this constitution of ours, so that the runners-up has a position. It wouldn't be bad if the first candidate would be the president and the runners-up would be the deputy president. It would still work very well. And then the person who comes in at number 3 becomes the prime minister. These people won't fight.
Yeah.
We know that the number 1 is the president,
the commander-in-chief.
The commander-in-chief. Number 2 is the principal assistant to the commander-in-chief. Number 3 is the head of the cabinet. And things would work flawlessly. But the position we find ourselves in right now, I think you saw the debate that happened in Parliament on Friday. It was a messed up debate.
Absolutely.
Because one side we are saying that people died. The other side they are saying that, you know what, the police officers also died.
Yeah, police will.
We are not converging to a point where we can say that Kenyans lost their lives. What we are seeing is not a sight that is beautiful to our eyes.
Yeah.
if it's not working, we change the constitution, but we still stick to the law.
Absolutely, absolutely. As the week continues, or as Monday is here with us, there is so many political happenings that are going to be happening, and in the shrines of those conversations between the president and his and the former prime minister. What are some of the
his
things
long-time friend?
Yeah, his long-time friend and political mentor, if you would say, to some extent.
mentor,
What are some of the things that you see coming out this week?
We're going to get a big update on the discussions, although the right men for Ruto and Raila will come out disappointed. You know how ndo amekuwa akisukuma igurudumu kwenda kwa podium kusema huyu mtu ni mbaya. Now you know right now they have been relegated.
Yeah, because even when the president was going to Tanzania there, I think for the very first time he tweeted, and he was able to sign off his tweet, and he said, no, I do not want anybody else in that room. It is me, Raila, and Olusegun Obasanjo. So you are seeing disappointments this week?
Yeah, some people feel frustrated. The likes of Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro is going to be a frustrated fella.
Yes.
And Eugene Wamalwa and Kalonzo Musyoka.
When there is something that I want to pick your mind on. The Kikuyu member of parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah, when you hear him speak, he speaks with a lot of conviction. Where do you think he borrows this conviction? Because for a member of parliament, yes, you might be the majority leader in parliament, but he speaks with a lot of conviction, as if he has an extra hand, in an upper hand in government, that he sort of wields some type of power.
You know, Alan, power is very intoxicating. I will tell you this as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Power is very intoxicating. Kimani Ichung'wah is the majority leader, and he's in the ruling party.
So
he has been intoxicated with power.
Yeah.
I want him to go back to the Hansard and read the speech of the now Minister for Interior. What is his name?
Kithure Kindiki.
Kithure Kindiki. When Kithure Kindiki was ousted from the seat of member of majority leader, he said that Parliament ought to be free.
Yes.
From the hands of the executive. Ndindi Nyoro cannot see right. He can't see that right now.
Yes.
He cannot. But when the tables turn, that's when sanity comes back. Sorry to use that word. It was due for lack of a better term. But when you're drunk with power, there are things that you can't see. You cannot see. You will speak the way you want to speak. Because some of these speeches being uttered by members of parliament to the former prime minister, they are not things that should be said by such individuals, even to the former president. But because they're in power right now, they can afford that political muscle to speak as they see fit. But history always repeats itself. One day tables will turn, and they will make speeches. They will make speeches. You know, this and this should not happen. This and this should not happen, and they will forget what they're doing right now. It has always happened. It will always happen. That's why I've told you. Same monkeys, different forests.
All right, we do not have anything further to add, rather to end it there, and to request you to keep it Science TV, as at 1 p.m., 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. News bulletins will be coming your way to keep you abreast of what is happening in our country and of course around the globe. But also you can be updated on all our social media platforms at Science TV Kenya, at Science TV Kenya, that is on across all platforms. But also you can find us on web, that is at www.sciencetv.co.ke, and also you can continue engaging with us on mobile. The numbers are on your screen, SMS or WhatsApp, and we'll be glad to get that feedback, and we also will be able to respond to you immediately and effectively. Being your host Alan Herbert and my co-pundit Kasanga Johnson, we wish you a blessed Monday and a blessed week ahead. Good morning.